Hey there, fans of brotherly love wrestling. It is I, Vik Dalishus,
Philly's own, the Mecca here.
It is the real McCoy, J.D.X. Justin D. Xavier. And
it's your man, CD, the fallen angel, Christopher Daniels.
Hello, boys and girls. This is your old friend RJ City.
Hey there, brotherly love wrestling. Bill Carr here.
Hey everyone, this is two-time guest Wheeler Yuta.
Two bozos from Philadelphia flapping their gums about pro wrestling this, pro wrestling that.
Which is not that unique in the grand scheme of things yet.
You are in for a treat because you're tuned in to Brotherly Love Wrestling.
Philadelphia, are you ready?
No! They said, are you ready?
This is Brotherly Love Wrestling Podcast, your first stop for everything professional wrestling. So sit back and enjoy wrestling talk at its finest with your hosts, Larry Hall and Joe Corrado.
Welcome, everybody, to Brotherly Love Wrestling. On the show this week, we have our friends, the perennial guests.
Gotta be at least 9 times.
Yeah, I'm lost count at this point, but they are more part of the show almost than we are. They are Vik Dalishus Hale Collins, the Now. What's up, guys?
What's up, guys? Thank you for having us.
It's good talking to you guys. Good seeing you again.
We're on the media tour. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Media tour.
The media tour for
the media tour stopped in Philadelphia, grabbed a couple cheesesteaks, and now we're back heading to Poughkeepsie.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get started on the cheesesteak subject again, huh? Don't source file.
I don't owe you. Well, maybe I owe you.
You do.
I owe. All right.
You owe me cheesesteaks.
Yeah.
By the time I get it to you in Poughkeepsie, though, it's going to be cold.
You had an opportunity to bring it to me in Jersey, and you blew it.
I did. Yeah, I'm not good at this type of thing.
Yeah. Very true.
He's the reliable one. Me, not so
Being
much.
a friend? You're not good at this type of thing?
No,
a friend?
I'm not.
Man, that mustache could talk.
It can. It whispers sweet nothing in my ear at night. Why do you think I kept it around? Helps me fall asleep.
Well, I love it. It's a great look. Great look.
I appreciate it. It's a power mustache.
So
you need it.
Enough about me.
Guys, we are so excited. We cannot wait. ACW, January 4th at the MJN Convention Center. At least I have listened to majority of your media, whether it's been on the radio, all the podcasts. I'm trying to suck up any information possible because I'm overly excited for this event. And now, according to your social medias, you're going to be starting to release the match card. You already released a triple threat match. I mean, how is it this whole, since we've known you, you've gone from indie professional wrestlers now to promoters and doing your own show. You guys come a long way. And what is it like going from the one side of the curtain to the other, really?
Yeah.
Well, we kind of used to it a little bit when we did the whole House of Horror thing with Tommy Dreamer, but it's a little more different this time because it's actually like our company, like names on the LLC and all that good stuff. But it's a little more stressful because our money is on the line and we have to have the show do well. But other than that, everyone's been really. What helps is because we've always been really cool with everybody. We don't really dislike many people in wrestling. We just get along with mostly everybody. So we had a nice support system from the start, from everyone reaching out, saying good things, and just, everything's been so positive. So far so good, really, what I can say about the transition.
Yeah, so far so good, and it's also been like a big change to go from one side of this whole thing where we're wrestlers and we're all we got to do is show up and do our thing, to now every last detail, it really comes down to us, and you don't realize how many decisions you have to make in the part of this process. So our from the moment we wake up in the morning to the moment we go to bed, we're constantly like in conversation with somebody about something that has to do with the show. Because we want it to be awesome. Literally, with pun intended, we want it to be something that's truly memorable. So we've been working on how it's gonna go pretty much every single day for the last 3 or 4 months, and now we're getting down to the last. I guess it's almost 30 days, 31, 32 days away, and we're still making changes and updates. And yesterday we came to terms with a huge surprise that's going to participate in the show, which is exciting and something that we like set out to do from the beginning here. So surprises are a big part of it, because as a fan, we remember being in the crowd and watching the shows and like just having that moment where you're like, it would be awesome if this guy showed up, and then all of a sudden, bam. And we want to have those moments for the people in the MJN Center. So we're putting our name on the line for this whole thing. And if it succeeds, there's going to be more. And if it doesn't succeed, then it's going to be really tough to have more. So it's really like live and die by the sword here.
So do you think it helps you being as if you've been wrestling for what, over 20 years, that in the promotion side of it, like you kind of have an idea of like, this is how I would do things. Oh wait, I am doing things. So it's kind of like your way.
Good question, because like even with Northeast Wrestling, we had our hands in promoting. We're around town, and you know we were a big part of Northeast Wrestling becoming the first independent wrestling to be in the Civic Center. So you know we helped launch that big time. We had like over 500 people go to that show. But so like since in this area, we've been promoting for shows for the past like 2 decades. So we definitely know how promoting works. We have like some things that people think that don't work anymore, but they do, and it helps us with that. But it definitely helps. One thing I suffer from is too much empathy, because I know a lot of people would love to be on the show, and there's a lot of people who I think deserve to be on the show, and I do like them a lot, and I think they're very talented. But it comes down to is just like there's just so many spots on the show that we could fit and without going over like 3 hours, say. So, but like all the people that like reached out, were I know we're gonna have more shows. I know this is gonna be successful, and we're gonna give everyone a shot that deserves a shot to be in that building, because we know how much that building means to a lot of people, and how much history it has, and how much the fans how many different kinds of fans come together and make that show so impactful, and the energy and the building alone is something to feel in the ring. So to give that experience to people, it's very cool to do, and we're hoping to give that experience to as many people as we can that deserve it.
And to be honest, in wrestling, there's a tremendous amount of egos involved. So yeah, I don't know if that's a big surprise to you guys. So putting together the talent roster here has been kind of like very interesting, navigating the waters. And like Hale said, the one thing we have going for us is that we have relationships with a lot of the people that we are going to have on the show, but there's still there's still a certain amount of like negotiating that goes on, and a certain amount of getting people to agree with the vision that you have for what you want them to do that night. And I think it's helped us because we've been on both sides of that coin, where we've been the wrestler and having somebody ask us to do something that we didn't necessarily know we were going to do, or wasn't necessarily the vision that we had, and then trying to make that the best possible scenario for when we go out there. We've been really lucky that everybody's been super cool so far, and they're excited to wrestle in that building and make it like an event that people remember. We haven't had this much buzz around the show there, I feel, since House of Hardcore 1. And with the excitement and the curiosity of what's going to happen and how's it going to look and all that stuff. So we've also had like people come out of the woodwork that want to participate, people that we didn't know were going to even find out about the show that have like reached out to want to be a part of it. So that's been pretty cool too. And then the other aspect is, how is the presentation of Awesome Championship Wrestling gonna be? And we've spent a lot of time working on every little detail so that it looks professional and it looks next level. When you guys walk into the JN Center that day, we want it to be a fully immersed experience. So we remember as kids going there, and that first time you walk in the building and you can like see the ring from the lobby, and getting your program when you first walk in, the merch stand and concessions, and literally every single detail about that night has been thought over 100 times, and we've spared no expense to make it happen.
That's the one thing in interviews I've heard that you guys promoting is you're bringing your style and what you think professional wrestling should be. And I mean, we've talked to you enough to where, and we've obviously seen you wrestle enough to where we kind of, we
Agree.
know, we of course we agree, but we know what that could be. You know what I mean? We know what you guys like, what you guys may dislike. And I think maybe that's what excites me most about it, is because we agree with the way you guys are and your mindset on professional wrestling. That's one thing that is so exciting, is because we know it's going to be done to the best of your ability. Like you said, you spared no expense. You've done everything you can from when you walk in the door to make this feel like that. And from you talking about surprises for the Rumble and surprises on the card, like that's key. Especially, I mean, just look at WWE. When you have a big event, you're expecting those surprises. I mean, look at Survivor Series that just passed. Everyone kept thinking, like, is The Rock going to come back? Are we going to get this surprise? Are we going to get something to surprise us? And that's a key part of professional
We're very
wrestling.
greedy fans.
We are. We
We're
absolutely are.
fucking greedy.
Please
and
us.
greedy.
Entertain
Jesus
us.
Christ.
But, like, yeah, that's one thing I think I have confidence that you guys can fulfill, because, like you said, you have surprises. There are people that don't want to be announced for the Rumble because they want to legitimately be a surprise. Like that alone is a key part in a great event, is just that feeling, that legitimate surprise feeling. No rumors or someone spoiling it on social media makes it, I mean, makes you get more immersed in the event, and I mean, just check out at the door and be ready for the ride.
Yeah, what they like, people were taken back by the card that we posted right from the start, like the poster. People were like, "Wow, what the hell? Where the hell did this come from?" You know, big venue, stars. People really don't really understand how we are playing it off, and neither do I sometimes. But I feel like I look at wrestling as a fan still. I still love wrestling. I still watch it every day of my life. I am still actively wrestling in the ring, so I have that view of wrestling, and now I'm doing the promoting part, and having a company where it's like I feel like I have so many different avenues of what I think how wrestling should be. I love hearing ideas. I like turning ideas and evolving them into something better, maybe, or working together, make an idea work. I can't really listen to people online because so many different people have so many different opinions. It's like, wow, it's just like, I can't believe how many different opinions. But then also sometimes I feel some opinions are just being trolls. They're just saying stuff just to get a rise out of people. They're like, who the hell would ever think some things that some people are saying? I don't really understand. But I feel like if you were a certain fan from back in the day, say if you were a diehard ECW fan or just an ECW fan in general, I feel like you have a good idea of what you want to see in a wrestling event. That either, because when you're an ECW fan, I'm not saying we're going to base this show around ECW-ish, but it is a former ECW building, so we really wanted some of the guys to be a part of it,
Yeah,
But
we saw that.
So we want that, atmosphere. We want them to really feel it. But if you were like an ECW guy, you love the technical wrestling, you love the hardcore wrestling, you love the big guy versus small guy, you love cheesy gimmicks, you love surprises. And that was ECW was all about. They had so many different avenues on how the wrestling show went. If you watch a ECW show from start to finish, it made everyone happy in every kind of way. So we're not gonna base it off ECW, but I definitely will have some ideas from watching that growing up.
Well, it's all about evoking emotions. That's what you're looking to do. You're not trying to it's hard nowadays because phones didn't exist like they did when the time you were talking about in the ECW days. Like everybody's got to catch everything, and I feel like they don't live in the now necessarily. But I mean, I've never been to this venue. I've heard of it. I've watched shows that were there back when you're talking about in the 90s, early 2000s. But so like I feel like the way that you guys are talking and how like our mentality coming from Philadelphia, like passionate, we're passionate. Like people think we're fucking nuts. We're passionate. Like I feel like that's what I'm getting from you guys, and like this is like a pure passion, like put it all out there on the line. Like this is the now version of wrestling. This is wrestling now.
It's a lot of it's for crowd participation. We want the crowd to really participate in this. We want them part of the show. We want the crowd to basically be talent on the show, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And the ECW arena, like this is our version of the ECW arena, and the best part about it is it hasn't been bastardized by hundreds of independent promotions running shitty wrestling shows inside of it. So it's been a little bit protected because it's a bigger venue, and it has been a place where television and pay-per-views have been shot literally since the 70s. And the shows that have run there, the track record is a lot of home runs. There's not too many shows that have been in the MJN Center where they were like four fingers and awful shows. So we feel like we have that to live up to, and it's a place that's really sacred to us personally. Like we walked across the very stage there to graduate high school in that building. That's where we had our high school graduation. I went to the WWF shows back in like the early 90s, and my dad got us seats right across from the hard camera. So like I'm on the tapes from back in the day. Hale used to go to ECW shows there, and I just watched Hardcore Heaven 99. I was showing it to my sons, and Hale is directly across from hard camera the entire time. Kids watching Uncle Hale's reactions more than they're watching using the rap.
Because I sold my
into
that show that he's talking about. I sold my Sega Saturn to get the fourth row, which was like I don't know, it was like $125 at the time. So I literally sold my Sega Saturn to get the fourth row seat because 1, 2, and 3 they sold out so quick, and they were a little bit more money. But then I got the fourth row right directly across the camera. And every show they went there, I usually got front row, all like the regular televised shows, because I would skip school, get online at like 4 a.m. and wait for the ticket window to open up at 9 a.m. And I said, wait there. There's some idiot always got there before me. I don't know what time he got there. It was really annoying. So like he would always get like the first dibs, and then they got the people calling in. But I always got front row. I had front row like every single ECW event except for the pay-per-view. I wore a Superman shirt, blue hair, with silver glasses, egging on the crowd, trying to get the crowd all to hate me. And it was a lot of fun. And that just turned me a professional wrestler, because a lot of the guys from ECW went to Johnny Rod's. So like I was like, so this is possible. Like I always said to you guys before, when I saw the Sandman, he looked like my uncle at a barbecue. So like I thought it was literally possible to become a wrestler. So I went to Johnny Rod's and ECW because of it. But like Vic said, that venue also had WWE like events like in the 80s, like Macho Man, he made his debut there. Vic knows more about the history from the 80s and from who's been in that building, but it's just just a landmark of a traditional historic wrestling, and it's very protected. But not only is it protected, but it's also costly. You can't just go in there and have a show. You know what I mean? It's not a venue where here's this, get us to show. You know, it's not a fundraiser event. You know what I mean? It's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real deal venue. It's like professional, top notch thing. You know.
Yeah, it was the first place. It's where Sid powerbombed Shawn Michaels the night after WrestleMania. First time that Luna and Sherry had physical altercation was in that right there at ringside, which I thought was awesome when Luna, Shawn, and Sherry Martel attacked each other. Like it goes all the way back even further than that with the Land of 1,000 Dances that they filmed on that stage. Like with the WWF music videos.
Mm-hmm.
And then you fast forward through all that, and when we had a chance to bring independent wrestling back to the Mid-Hudson Civic Center, the MJN Center, we were with Northeast Wrestling at the time, and we sold that building out, and we were in a match against two total pros, Romeo Roselli and Robert Stone, Rob Echoes. It was an atmosphere that you can't even like really describe. And we went on to have a feud with each other in that building. Hale won a ladder match in that building with a grab for the gold match. Main evented the building.
Get this, guys. Ready for this little story about that ladder match? So Sabu just got done with like, you know, with a back issue or whatever. And he said it was 100% for the match. You can do whatever you want to. The first thing Vic does when Sabu climbs the ladder, powerbomb from death.
Oh,
You remember, dude? Remember how mad he got because he was throwing chairs at my head? So I took the chairs and I started throwing them back at his head, and he started getting pissed off because that's my gimmick. That's my gimmick. And you're smacking me in the head with those chairs. You're gonna get it right back, bro.
It's got to look real, right? I mean, if you're getting hit with a chair, you got to hit someone else with a chair. You don't just take it.
I say 100%.
We wrestled for Impact in that building. It was a match for to start the show off. It was against each other, and then we brought House of Hardcore there with Tommy Dreamer, and we had several events there. Northeast Wrestling had been back there. Global Force Wrestling had been back there. NXT ran shows there. 205 Live has run a show there. All of them had memorable little things. And like the 205 Live thing, the very last time that the real one, and formerly known as Enzo Amore, was WWE Cruiserweight champion, was his defense in Poughkeepsie, and then he was let go the next day as champion. So a story that he gets to compete against the NWA junior heavyweight champion and have a chance to like right that wrong that happened to him. Like we get to continue that story. You know, how long has it been? 5 years now down the line, something like that. So
if not more, yeah.
And like there's other things that are going to happen throughout the night that are callbacks that people might have thought were like forgotten about that we didn't forget about, and we're going to like tie up some loose ends and do some cool like some stories that some people were, you know, we never got the next part of that story. Well, they're gonna get it for us, and
you're gonna provide closure for people.
I don't know if it's closure because we don't know if it's gonna end there, but it's gonna be the next part of the story. For a couple different things, and it's gonna be awesome. Really, like pun intended again. I think it's why we call it that, because when we were coming up with the name for the company, we really resonated with Awesome Championship Wrestling because we wanted the show to be awesome. We love that chant when people chant, "This is awesome, this is awesome," and there's never been a wrestling company that's really capitalized on it.
Yeah.
Like they did it at, I think it was at the NXT show I was watching a couple weeks ago. They were chanting it, and the announcers put it over, but nobody like makes a big deal about it. Like when you can pull that genuine emotion out of the fans, they've seen everything at this point. You know, other than I mean, what haven't they done other than kill a guy on live TV? So for them to literally chant, "This is awesome."
They kind of did that.
Oh yeah, they did do that, didn't they?
Yeah.
So,
TNA did that.
Everything's been done. So
Literally everything's been done. Well, I was talking more about Owen, but
Oh well, yeah, that too. Jesus Christ, that was
I
dark.
didn't. I was going with the limo, but
oof.
We have all kinds of different.
I'll sit this one out.
That got dark really quick.
I thought he meant actual death. I didn't know he was talking kayfabe. My fault. My bad. I apologize.
Apology accepted. It's okay. We're not the ones that did it, and Triple H humped a dead corpse on TV. So
I mean, very true.
Like, so just to get that genuine emotion out of people, I think is a testament to like just when the fans used to chant ECW, ECW, ECW. When we're gonna hear "This is awesome," it's gonna be like the biggest smile that's gonna come across my face. Like, it was the first time when the fans chanted HOH instead of ECW at that building. It was like, yeah, we got them, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're here for us and they're here for this. Like, that's what we were looking for.
I guarantee you hear an ACW chant almost right away.
What do you guys think about the bios? Like, so I think we're getting a lot of positive feedback about the bios on how some people don't know. No disrespect to anyone, because some fans don't know who some guys are that are announced. So now they do, because they read the bio, they get intrigued by the bio, which I thought was a cool addition. I don't really see that.
I read the Vicious Vicky one, and I was like, this is really well done.
That's awesome.
That was my thought, because I mean, they pop up like, and I was just like, all of a sudden I'll scroll and I'll be like, what's this down here? And then I see it's a long paragraph. I was like, oh shit, let me read this. And I read it. I was like, huh, that's
so like credentials, so you know a little bit about them, so you can look forward to seeing that kind of talent on the show and know a little bit about them. So it's not just some guy that, like, you don't know. Everybody on the show deserves to be on the show. They've been somewhere. They've done something. They've done something out of the ordinary than the average, talent. So we really want to make that clear to everyone. If you guys don't feel like Googling and doing your own homework, here's our homework for you. Just read. Right there for you.
I mean, it's a smart move. I mean, literally nobody does it. Like, you'll get like a tale of the tape once in a while and be like, but that's not giving you what you guys are putting out. Like, you guys are putting out like a paragraph of like, it's like a Wikipedia on steroids type thing.
So like Cliff Notes.
A baseball card. Remember back in the day, the baseball cards.
Yeah.
Like
You guys don't provide the bubble gum, though. Just gonna say that.
But that stuff lasted forever. I used to open a pack card later, just chew it.
Yeah, that's because it was basically cement. So, I mean,
but like even something like that though, it's totally missing on a grand scale for independent wrestling in the United States. So, everybody's constantly talking about WWE or even AEW, TNA to MLW, and what those companies have is the machine behind them. They have national television, they have a giant budget that they can go with, and they can be afforded the opportunity to like use guys you've never heard of and use their television to tell you who people are. And we're trying to sell tickets show on an independent level in the Hudson Valley, Poughkeepsie, New York, and we don't have the luxury of the multi-million-dollar television deal to tell you who everybody is. So we are consciously aware of that, and we're using our social media to do it. And it's an opportunity that we hope other independent wrestling companies can see, that there's space there to do that with your talents and to sell tickets and have people engaged on your shows. Like, there's really nothing worse than coming out at an independent show and having the fans go, "Who are you? Who are you?"
Yep.
I mean, it's happened to everybody. It's happened to us. It's happened to everybody, and it sucks because it's.
But after we get done wrestling, they all chant now. So then,
Yes, they know who we are after we're done wrestling. But the point is that when a promoter's job is to promote, and you use every tool that you have in the toolbox to promote. Like this is going to be the first ever matchup between Nick Nemeth. I can't say it now, right? But there's like every tool that you have to announce like first time matches. Like
we
that should be
we almost broke news. Instead of breaking wind, we almost broke something for once. Jesus.
Like first time matchups, first time it's ever happened. Like that stuff's got to be promoted. Like you have to like make the most out of those opportunities, or else how would fans ever know? They're not going to figure it out when they're there at the building that night. There's you're already in it at that point. So it's about selling tickets and getting people excited about your event. And I think that's something that's missed on the independent level all across some places do it okay, some places do it great, and we're trying to be one of those ones that do it great.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of people just rely on like the big names, and you're just like, all right, here's the big name, come and see them. But you're giving big names and substance at the same time, which I think more people will appreciate when it all said and done. And you're talking like when you're giving bios, these are for the people that, I mean, you could be getting a wish-wash. You could be getting a casual. You could be getting someone who's wish-washy, like, I kind of want to go, but I don't know. And then they see and they're like, oh, okay. Like, this is not what I expected. Like, I'm just used to going to shows, like, to just tell me I only know, like, half of the people that are there. Like, you're actually be like, I'm going to know everybody that's there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm going to feel like I know everybody that's there. And then if you're intrigued, you're going to go back and you're probably going to catch a couple clips before you get there. I mean, it's kind of like a word of mouth type thing I mean, that's essentially what social media is anyway. It's utilizing your tools, everything that's at your disposal.
Yep. And we've also used every other thing that we have at our disposal. We partnered with the local radio station. We're partnered with Town Square Media, which is the nationwide media broadcasting conglomerate that has stations all across the country. It gives us not only the opportunity to wrestle and promote in Poughkeepsie, but if we do well, could go other places. And with that, we have different radio stations that we have access to, digital media advertising. Like right now, one of the coolest things is we're on the digital pillars inside of the local malls. And I know that may not, I don't know if malls are still big by you guys, but up here it still is a thing. And during the holiday shopping season, as you're walking around the mall, you see our amazing poster like right there in your face. And we're running commercials during Monday Night Raw and SmackDown starting this week. And
only local market?
Only local market, yes.
Right.
It would be ridiculously expensive to do it nationwide.
Well, these are the things that I don't know. I'm not a promoter. I'm trying to get the word out there. Doing my job.
Here's one thing that I didn't know that I know now is that every cable provider has their own set of commercials. So if you get Spectrum, you have only Spectrum commercials. If you have Optimum, you get Optimum's commercials. If you have YouTube TV, you have TV commercials, and all of them are specific pricing and all their own specific set of fees. So you can't just advertise on one set of cable because like Verizon Fios has their own thing. So I didn't know that. I thought it was just like you buy some time during Raw or you buy some time during SmackDown, but it's its own thing. Everybody's trying to make a buck, I guess, but
you don't say.
Reach the most amount of people that we can. So we're doing it feet on the ground, posters on telephone poles, posters in every business. Hale's literally been like driving himself crazy, going around, hitting every place that will let him inside to put posters.
How many pizza places, Hale?
I mean, I got a good thing going on with pizza place. It's funny, because like I'm thinking to myself, like, how am I a regular at like 10 different pizza chains? A little bit better than the next, or sometimes I'm in the mood for a giant slice, sometimes I'm in the mood for like a little snack, slice. But like, it's cool because they really help me out. Like some of some of the places are stapling flyers to each pizza box up until the show.
That's cool.
And like some of these pizza places are very busy. Like they do like 200 pizzas a day, so that's 200 homes a day. So it's small stuff like that people think that don't matter anymore. It's cool. It's like old school marketing. They think like grassroots marketing doesn't really exist anymore, but it does. Like everyone, you were so consumed with social media. We're always on Instagram. We're always on Twitter. Like it consumes us and like consumes us. And so people forget that like a lot of people don't give a crap about social media, but we think they do because it's all we consume ourselves with. But those are huge populations that don't even watch it. Like if I go to like my mom or something, hey, you see that on social media? Like, what are you talking about? A lot of people don't know there's supposed to be an alien invasion. Can you believe that? Yeah. So like, never happened. But like, yeah, that like with anybody. So if you take yourself out of that world and put yourself in a different one, you'll see a lot of people still go to events by seeing it in person.
Yeah.
Dude, his feed's got to be insane.
But to that point, like there's so many places and opportunities for us to market. Like we go to like we're wrestling every weekend, and we go to a lot of towns where we never see a poster up anywhere. Like when we pull in, and it's frustrating because like how do these people even know about this show? Like, and sometimes it reflects in the attendance on the shows, and sometimes you're like, wow, this guy did really well for not hanging a single poster. And you have to be able to reach everybody, and that's why we've been spending our time doing podcasts, radio shows, newspaper, posters. And there's not a stone that we haven't tried to flip over in this to get the word out, and at least have people aware that there's a show and what it's all about and who the stars are, and that it's family friendly to a certain extent, and all the things. So we've really been working tirelessly to hit all of that stuff, and we've had really good partners, which has been really cool. Some people that have put on really good events in the area that have just like really helped us out and given us some guidance, and we've got the right people around us.
Also, I feel like now that we're doing this side of the business more, flyers and posters, they're not cheap. So like 100 flyers is going to be like $100. So it's like if you have like 1,000 flyers going out like every week, then you go, yeah, sure, how do I look for the better deal? So some promoters look at it like some promoters look at it as like they try saving $1 every chance they get, so they rely on social media, which is mostly unless you boost and stuff like that, it's mostly free. So, but to a venue like this, you have to put money into it in every kind of direction to make it work. But the posters and flyers like that on being this side, I never really thought about it before, but they're not cheap, especially the ones we prefer. They're like nice and glossy, colorful, like not like pieces of crap.
Nice and glossy.
And the other thing I was wondering with you guys, obviously, like you said, you're still wrestling. It's not like you're done wrestling.
You're not done wrestling, are you?
No.
Going forward, how does that look for you guys? I mean, look,
woo! Put them away. Woo! Put that away.
At least the four of us here right now believe this is going to be a success because of look at the card, look at the town that is hungry for wrestling and independent wrestling. Going forward, this is a success. What is your bookings looking like? Are you already looking ahead and like, hey, we got to book this, look for these dates, and then also, well, if this is a success, maybe 2-3 months down the line, are we looking at the second show? Like, what does that look like in your head? Are you planning that far out?
That's one of the tough things right now because, like, we want the show to be successful. We're on pace for it to be successful because I look at the ticket sales every day. But like, I even know when people buy 2 tickets, I just figure it out and then I see what they bought one. But like, the thing that's tough right now is like wrestling's so big. There's so many different indies, and there's a lot of also places that like like MLW and AEW and all these places. Now people are getting booked out throughout the year already. Like some bookings, some people are booked up until like April, May already. So like we need to get this show done, have it be awesome, and get the next date because say for example the first person to become the awesome heavyweight champion and all of a sudden he's booked on our next show. That can't happen. So we gotta get like this. We gotta get our next date cemented, which we're working on now. We're probably gonna get that date soon, but we're gonna wait a little, like 2 more weeks for that. 2 more weeks maybe, and then we'll go. We'll turn that stone over. But as of right now, but that's a great question because we want a lot of the talent that's on this show to be the next one, so we can keep telling stories.
Yeah.
So we can't waste that much time announcing the second date.
Is that the
part
ultimate?
of
Oh, go ahead, Vic.
part of why we're doing this show is because the MJN Center wants pro wrestling in that building. So they came to us and were like, basically, why don't you guys run a show at this point? And we've agreed that if this one is successful, that we're going to attempt to do 3 to 4 shows a year. So that's like quarterly, I guess, if you want to break it down that way. That gives us enough time to plan, book, and put together a quality show where it's not just like throwing something together. We're never going to do a show where it seems like it's thrown together. That's not something that we're prepared to do. So we want it to make sense. We want continuity from one show to the next. We want to start building our own homegrown stars, like talent from our company that our people are going to pay money to come see. You can't always rely on the talent that comes from television because number one, those talents can get pulled at any time, which is part of like a real problem with the fact that they have contracts that they have to honor. So it becomes dangerous to start relying on some of the television talent, their main talents, to have on a show, because if something more important comes up than our independent show, then they're off of it and on to their other thing. Very lucky with the fact that we have Nick Nemeth on this show. I've known Nick since his first day in pro wrestling. We were in Ohio Valley Wrestling together. I was there the day him and Bobby Lashley showed up together, which was quite the twosome. And he is a friend who is going out of his way to do everything he can to make sure the show is successful. And like he shared the flyer tonight. I can always tell when he shared his flyer because I log on to Instagram and there's 150 likes already. So he has a fan base that spreads all across the world. And, him doing that for us, and him giving me his word that he'll be there, that he's going to do everything he can to promote it and make it awesome, is important because you can't always guarantee that from some of the main stars that you try to book on an independent level. And it's a constant rotating pool of talent. It's not always the same people. So we've gotten to be very fortunate that we have the TNA World Heavyweight Champion and the NWA World Heavyweight Champion both at the same time on our show. And the NWA title has never been defended in the MJN Center. It's never been in Poughkeepsie, New York. So that is another first that we're going to have on our show, and it's very hard to have firsts, and that's one of them. Going forward, where do we go from here? Luckily for us, we're crowning the first ever awesome championship wrestling heavyweight champion. We've designed a beautiful championship belt, and we're going to have the winner of the Poughkeepsie Rumble. And that's the start of building our own talent, and where it goes from there. Hopefully people are excited about seeing that person going forward. And it's part of the reason that they come out to the next show. And that's how you build stars. So we're really hoping that that's part of our success story is that we're giving some people a platform and an opportunity to show what they made of, and that they've possibly either been overlooked or they're next in line to be looked at.
You good? I thought you were going to say something.
No, you're
okay, because
good.
I have something that I wanted to touch on because like I said, I watched a lot of your guys' promotional stuff over the past couple weeks,
Want
and
to touch on brand new weight championship title made?
that's exactly what I was going to say. I heard about how you were painstakingly over every single detail of this, and Vic talked about Easter eggs. To look for Easter eggs in this title. There's a lot of things that went into this. I mean, how was that? How was doing that, Hale, going in through that process?
Well, I feel like I'm easy to deal with, but I guess when it comes to, I mean,
we can actually get you here. Sure.
Like it's like gear when I'm talking to a designer about gear. Like he sends it and I send it back to him and tell him to correct this and correct that, correct this, correct that. So that's like about like so to the point where they kind of get done talking to me almost. So this one I get done with, But with the heavyweight title, I did the same thing and it got to the point. I was like, you know what, man, you're gonna have to give me the deposit today on this title. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But yeah, it's just it's just something special. Like it's I always feel like you could make it a little better, a little better, a little better, a little better. And then you're like, all right, well, that's it. That's what I can't really figure anything to make it better than what it is. So I guess that's it. But it takes a while to get there, Like for the heavyweight championship on it. So I'm like, wait, you gotta have a heavyweight champion on there. Like you can't just not have it on there.
Mm-hmm.
Can't just be an awesome title, But yeah, the guy's making it. He does really great work. Tony DeVito recommended him, and he is phenomenal at what he does. So we'll give him all credit where credit's due when you see the title, and he's going to try to make up to the show so he can help present it, stuff like that. So to put his belt making on the map. So we'll see how that goes, but it's pretty awesome. Like it's pretty cool that we're gonna have a custom title in our first show, which I don't really see often. Sometimes you see a replica with the W scraped off and put like their own little, So like, we're trying to. Well, we didn't want to be that. We just go all out every aspect. We were going to get the tag titles made for the show, but we really want all the focus to be on the atmosphere and the heavyweight championship. Awesome. And then the next show, we'll declare the new tag team champions.
Speaking of tag team champions, obviously you guys are the reigning ISPW, 4-time ISPW tag champions. And you guys have had a feud going on for a while with Sent to Slaughter. And I did hear Vic say something and tease a little bit of maybe you guys and Sent to Slaughter. I mean, I know obviously there's no match been announced for January 4th with you guys. Is that a possibility? Could we be seeing that? And is it going to, I mean, personally, I feel cheated because I came all the way to AC to see a cage match between Sent to Slaughter and the Now. And don't get me wrong, I love seeing Vic compete in singles, but I mean, tag team wrestling is one of my favorite things to watch. And I had my favorite tag team against a big bullying tag team at a cage match, and I feel cheated out of that. So I was kind of hoping that you guys would fulfill that for me. What's going on, and maybe can we get that match for ACW?
So selfish, fans.
The opportunity to show everybody the physicality and the drama and the personal rivalry that we have with Sent to Slaughter is hopefully an opportunity that we're going to capitalize on. The wrinkle that we're going to throw into that, if that's what we decide to go with, is something that we hope is going to make everybody happy and satisfy that craving for something that's extreme. So that's about as deep as I can get to it at this point. But we hear you on the cage match thing. We wanted that just as bad, and we had literally months worth of planning that went into that. And then I don't even know why it got messed up. I think the cage might have broken or something happened where they couldn't go with it that day. So what?
Cage is still broken.
Yeah. So there was definitely a reason behind it. It wasn't just like it was a blow off. It was also something that we were willing to forget. So we have great chemistry with Sent to Slaughter. The matches are very physical, and they are it's just become such like a personal rivalry. So like we've wrestled them in a outside show at the end of October, and Danny Moff chopped me chest, and it was freezing cold outside, like freezing cold outside. And if there was one thing that I didn't want to have happen to me, it was to be chopped by Danny Moff when it was freezing cold outside. And I thought my entire tit fell off when it hit me. it was one of the most hard hitting like chops, and the sound of it and the feel of it. When I went to the ground, the camera happened to be right in my face, and I cursed them out up and down, left and right. And I didn't realize the camera was there, but it forced me to like kind of like give it back to him. And Moff has been around a really long time, and it's hard to hurt. He's like a bull that just
he doesn't have a neck.
Yeah, man. He's just like nonstop, and his, I've never seen anybody down energy drinks and pre-workout powder at the same time, and Moff is just like and ready to go when it comes time big fight, and there's no stopping him. So it's a match that, like, if there was one thing that we want to show everybody, like what the Now has evolved into, like the people that have followed our careers all the way through, it's the next step in that evolution, I think, of like where we are as pros right now. So
I can't wait. I can't wait. I hope this happens really bad.
Don't get your hopes.
You too, man. We've been working out like crazy. We've been training for this, and like getting ourselves ready for it too. Like, it's right now we're down to the dieting part, because now everything matters, like what you put into your body and how we'll look that day. We're ready for it cardio wise, and we don't want to let everybody down on our own show. So you can't just like talk the talk, you have to walk the walk also, and the pressure is on to deliver that day. So we don't want to be outshined any more than anybody else does. So like, there's 2 world heavyweight champions on the show, and we're still trying to make sure that we're the match that everybody's talking about when they get in their car and go home that night. So,
well, and will this event be recorded for maybe a stream later? Is there, and obviously you said you teamed up with this big company that does media everywhere. Is that a plan, like to get it on AIS or IWTV or something like that?
Yeah, we're having we're 2 commentators that are going to be there recording live to tape as the show goes. We have a full production team and production board there, as if it was going to be live on television that night. So it's going to be like a really high quality production. We've put a lot of time and effort into where the cameras are going to be, how many cameras, the lighting. We've brought in a serious production team to do it. The guys that do reality TV shows, they did The Ultimate Fighter, they've done the Jersey Shore. like a real deal production team that's going to be doing it. And our
Is that
commentator,
$4.95 Productions?
what's that?
Is it $4.95 or what it used to be? Isn't that who used to do those productions?
I honestly don't know the name of them.
I think $4.95 does Jersey Shore right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll find out for you and let you know, though. But
Right.
they're just sitting there chatting with them about all the things that they've done. Used to do WWE stuff, and the Ultimate Fighter. I was like, well, you guys at least know what your live events and live fighting and pro wrestling and all that stuff. So you're the guys for the job, and the amount of like state of the art 4K HTV stuff that they're bringing with them, and the guys from their name just went out of my head for the name of their company, but Dave Sturcio and do you remember the other guy's name, Hal? Hold on. It's the two guys that the fight wrestling show on the Jersey Shore last year.
Zach?
Yeah, Zach Clayton.
No, but Zach the show.
Yeah.
But the two guys that they ran a wrestling company, a wrestling show on the Jersey Shore last year, and there's an app that they have, but they're going to be doing the commentating live. They're really good at it. They know what they're talking about. So, yeah, it's going to be a really good production, and then we plan on putting it out as soon as it's done. There's talk of just like releasing it for free. Not sure which direction we're going to go. The idea right now is that we don't plan on getting rich off of this show. It's really all about brand recognition. So we want the logo everywhere. We want the t-shirts on people's backs. We want the hats on people's heads. We want the video being played on everybody's social media and their TikToks and all that stuff, because until we get known on a bigger level, we're not anything yet. So we're keenly aware that this show is not about getting rich. It's about establishing ourselves in the marketplace.
That's awesome. I mean,
Wait a second, real quick.
Yeah,
we got Q, CWQ.
He broke out. What did he say?
What was that? Say it again.
A cube, the mic cube that you put like on the mic.
Oh, okay.
Down to the last detail.
I love that.
You don't see that.
No. I didn't even think people did that anymore.
Exactly. Thanks for the pop later on.
Hale's only here for cheap pop. That's it.
That's the
cheap. I don't even think that was a cheap pop. That was just like a stagnant on the way pop. I don't know.
Well, look, you broke up. We couldn't hear you. Everyone was talking at the same time, so we couldn't hear you. So the pop had to be delayed a little bit.
It was like two spots going at once. You know which one to look at?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
The ADD
That's
culture.
What spot? Okay.
Well, guys, we are so excited. I can't wait. I can't wait to get up there. We got a hotel room. We're all set. We got our tickets. So we will be up there as early as we possibly can. We can't wait to see everything in action. The more I listen to you guys talk about it, the more excited I get for this event, which I didn't think was actually possible. But and I want to do this. Hale, can you give us all the information, like the website and where to get tickets and all that, since you made Vik do it in every other meeting you've done?
I don't want to take the chance on that because I only have 2% bad.
I tried, Vik. I tried.
Man, this dude lives on 5% or less battery. I don't know how he does it. It's I want you guys to know also that after the show there is going to be an after party and you both are invited. So we want to make sure that you come check that out. So we'll let you know the details that night. So that you're for tickets, you head to thisisacw.com There's a Ticketmaster link right there. You can buy your meet and greet packages online to meet Tom Latimer, the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Nick Nemeth, the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, Real One, formerly known as Amore, and the Ultimate Bro, Matt Riddle. So if you want to meet those guys, take pictures with them, all that good stuff, the meet and greet packages are there. Highly encourage you to do that. There's a limited amount of those tickets. So we only have so much time before the show for everybody to meet. So jump on that. You can also call the MJN Center box office and buy your tickets over the phone. It'll save you on Ticketmaster fees. We try to tell everybody that as we do our media tour. So if there's a little hack for you and you want to save on Ticketmaster fees, you can call and do it that way. Otherwise,
that could have been brought to my attention yesterday.
Otherwise, Ticketmaster is pretty cool. The coolest part about Ticketmaster is you get to pick your seat. You get a picture of the whole building, where it's set up, how many seats are available, where you want to sit, the view you want, all that good stuff. And then on our social media, we're on all of the main platforms under This Is ACW. Facebook, we're at Awesome Championship Wrestling, and we're releasing all of our bios there for all the talent that's in the Rumble. This week we'll be starting to put out all of the matches, so you get to see the card develop as it happens. And I do want to stress, cards subject to change. Just because you see it on the paper doesn't necessarily mean that's how it's going to happen that night. So keep an open mind and know that we have a lot of surprises in mind for the show that night, and using talent in a lot of different ways. So some guys you'll see more than once, which will be cool. Some guys you'll only see in special circumstances also. I think that about covers it. So this is acw.com for tickets. Do it now before all of the good seats are gone and you're stuck sitting up in the nosebleeds.
Well, one thing about that, touch on that real quick, which is true. You want the seats that you want. But Civic Center, the MJN Center, there's not really a bad seat in the house. You know, right? Like if I couldn't get 1 through 4 or 1 through 5, I would get pictures because you can see everything, but also the 5th, 6th, 7th row, you can still see everything. So it's not really a bad seat in the house, I would say. Unless you want the aisle seat. So like fans can do the old school stop the wrestlers 5 and shit like that, stuff like that.
Nice. Well, guys, like I said, we can't wait. Thank you so much for taking. We know how, like you said, how busy you guys are. So thank you for coming on, talking with us. We always love talking to you, love seeing you. I guess the next time we'll see you will be January 4th, the MJN Center, Poughkeepsie Rumble. We cannot wait. And good luck, best of luck on the event. We will see you up there. And thank you for being on with us.
Thank you guys for having us. You're also doing like a little sponsorship deal with us. We appreciate that very much. To know that you guys that way means a lot to us. You're one of the only guys that has reached out to us to do something like that, and I just want you guys to know that that means a lot. We've known you guys now, it feels like, for a good amount of time. We've known since you guys started out and you were little babies in this business.
I didn't have a mustache, I'll tell you that much.
To see what you guys have done and how this has come such a long way, and people that you've actually interviewed. I watched your Drew Gulak interview last week. You guys did a great job. Just to see the progression from you guys also is doesn't go unnoticed, and we appreciate your support very, very much. It means a lot to us personally. Thank you.
Yeah, I really do. Guys living in the now all the time too.
Always.
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah.
It's on our bodies now.
Yeah, permanently.
Yeah.
There's no question about it.
More now than you guys.
Well, thank everyone for watching and listening to the show. We hope you enjoyed our conversation with the Now, and we'll be talking to you very soon.
And seeing you in Poughkeepsie, New York.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm happy you guys said.
What's that?
I'm happy you guys said Poughkeepsie correctly. A lot of people can't say it.
How do they say it? He just made a cat noise.
Yeah. Look, we come from a place that has roads like Passyunk and Susquehanna, and people can't say a lot of the Schuylkill. Like, people can't say a lot. So Poughkeepsie really isn't that difficult.
It rolls off the tongue, Poughkeepsie.
Yeah. Pretty
I've always
easy.
felt that. A lot of people can't say it.
A lot of people aren't us.
All right, everybody. We'll talk to you next week. Don't take any shit from anybody. See you.